the waiver of appeal paragraph that you signed. This paragraph where your signature is listed. Did you understand it?
No, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, what?
Mm.
All right, this is no application. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes.
Court is calling 2023 CR 6038, State of Texas versus Richard Gabriel Ramos. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Marshall D. White for Mr. Richard Ramos, the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Richard Ramos?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear, okay? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I believe I have it this time, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Are you proceeding with the enhancement allegation?
Yes, Your Honor. And Judge, just. This is a conflict.
Aha,
Sorry.
no, my fault.
Mixed up on the paperwork.
Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a public servant bodily injury? If the enhancement allegation is proven to be true, that will be a second-degree felony. The range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to need you to speak up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I should need those papers, okay?
Oh, that's okay. All right. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do believe he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do believe he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramos, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yeah.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, you agree that you've been previously convicted of a previous felony. Punishments be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and 712653. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Mr. Ramos, showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
What was that again, ma'am? Sorry.
All right. Did you understand the waiver of appeal paragraph that you signed? This paragraph where your signature is listed. Did you understand it?
No. Can you hear again?
I'm sorry, what?
No, can you hear again?
What did he say?
He said, no, like, can you read it again?
All right. So, first of all, did you sign this?
Oh, yes.
Did you go over it with your attorney?
Yes.
All right. When you sign this, what you're saying is that you are waiving your right to appeal. And waiving your right to appeal is, in layman's terms, waiving your right to complain about a sentence. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? Now, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. You understand?
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Well, I didn't understand the appeal, no.
All right, do you understand it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still wish to continue?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, they have not. But I will just say, Judge, with respect to this, it's some documents, certification of your right of appeal. It's the same thing. Okay, you understand? The judge goes along with it. You just have no right to appeal. I did explain that to you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
And to the enhancement, how do you plead? True or not true?
The enhancement is a prior conviction.
What do you mean, like the enhancement of?
The prior conviction.
Oh, yeah.
Did you review?
You have to say true or not true. Is it true?
It's not true.
It's not.
All right, so I'm going to read it to you and I want you to answer if it's true or not true, okay? It says, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, and when they say offense alleged above, they mean what you're here for now, on the 16th day of July 80, 2010, and cause number 2006 CR 9302 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. So is that true? Were you previously convicted of that felony?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you plead true to that?
Well, yeah, that I went to prison for that, yes.
All right, so is it true or not true?
True.
Okay. State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all its attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state is going to be presenting their evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Respectfully, Your Honor, we ask the court to follow the plea bargain that Mr. Ramos has entered into with the state of Texas.
All right, Mr. Ramos, it appears that you were having a bad day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any mental health issues?
I don't know.
Prior drug issues?
I had an evaluation for DWI.
Okay. All right. The court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and County Court Cause number 712653. Counsel, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Ramos, do you have any family in Bear County?
Ma'am.
Do you have any family here?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a support system?
Yeah.
All right.
So yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, counsel. So when you get out of prison, you need to make some changes, because otherwise, if you pick up a new offense Your attorney, I'm sure, has probably told you this. I know he probably did. You will be listed as a habitual.
I
And
didn't
if-
tell you that, didn't I?
And if you're listed as a habitual and you pick up a felony, depending on the felony it is, your minimum sentence would be 25 years. How old are you?
34.
All right. At some point, you're going to get to the point where I am, which is I'm in the twilight of my life. You only have about 20 more years before you're in the twilight of your life. Don't let the majority of your time have been spent in prison. You understand? All right. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Good luck,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Ramos.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Court is calling 2021 CR 9763C, State of Texas versus Thomas Blinko. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Defense?
Roger Pettis, Your Honor.
And are you Thomas Blinko?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Blinko, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yeah.
That's either yes or no.
Yes.
All right. Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Blinko, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of robbery? If the state presents evidence that proves the repeater paragraph, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Blinko, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
Any such questions? Any such questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Jeremy Fierce, Fearce, Juan Mello, Mello, Anthony Koschansky, Kochanski. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to
Yes,
abide by those recommendations?
yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And to the enhancement allegation, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit Number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes. Yes,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true in states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Two things, Your Honor. One, may I present this folder with a few
Yes.
letters? And I have two individuals here. But before I ask them to come up, I have been touched by Mr. Blinko, not by him personally as much as by the support that he has here. He had 6 people here. One has had to leave.
Mhm.
And you have many of the pieces of correspondence that basically cite him as a success story. This gentleman was a homeless gentleman before. Once he got through this cycle, he's become a volunteer, an amazing volunteer, to the extent that he had 6 people here in court all morning waiting to share with me and with you, Your Honor, and with him. It's been very emotional for him, but they're amazing. And 2 of them would like to share just a couple of comments.
Okay. And he's still at the Pay It Forward?
I'm sorry?
Is he still at the Pay It? Are you still at Pay It Forward?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And I understand that all of this started with allegations that the victims were selling drugs
Correct.
underneath the bridge. So I'm aware of all of these programs. So this truly is a success story. And I understand that there are issues that happen. I mean, next time you just got to call the police. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So who would you like to bring forward?
Brittany and Valerie.
Sure. Hello.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Brittany Ackerson.
Mhm.
I am the Assistant Director of Core Zone San Antonio and have been working with Mr. Thomas Blinko for years. If you don't mind, I wrote some notes down. Okay. We've worked with him for a very long time and he's done a lot for this community. So this is just a couple that I could pull off the top of my head.
Okay.
First of all, how he got arrested was he got his birth certificate and he was really excited. He's never had a Texas ID before. So in doing the ID recovery process, found out he had the warrant and then waited outside for PD. When PD showed up, they knew who he was and the police officer tried to go talk to the magistrate judge, but wasn't able to do that. So Mr. Blinko was living under the bridge for quite some time and ran the bridge for quite some time. He got into inpatient treatment on his own volition. He came to us, said, I need to go to detox. I need to go to treatment. And I said, we like to test people. If they really want it, they're going to show up. So I told Blinko, show up tomorrow. And he did. And I took him to detox and treatment. He graduated treatment. He went into outpatient treatment on his own. He goes to AA meetings throughout the city of San Antonio and leads them. He shows up at Corazon and Cam literally every day to give back to his peers that he lived with on the streets. He's trained police cadets in homelessness, which I'm sure Val will speak more about. He shows up as a father to his children, his actual children, and his children out in the street as well. He's reconnected with family for the first time in years. He's encouraged people to seek treatment throughout the city. So this is where I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I will. So not only does he show up for his fellow peers, homeless, that I appreciate you. My eyes are leaking. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
So not only does he show up for his peers out on the street and direct them in changing their life, he knows the severity of what we do working with the unsheltered population and that we're surrounded with death more so than life. So as we are helping people, he comes in and supports us as well. He truly is a success story and a model in this community. And I'm really proud of him. That's all I have. Thank you
All right,
so
thank
much.
you so much for coming down and show support. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Valerie Salas. I'm the Director of Homeless Services at Christian Assistance Ministry. I'm also a person with lived
I'll
experience.
slow down a little bit.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't be nervous.
I'm very nervous.
I think I may have met you before, but okay.
Probably I'm a person with lived experience as well.
Yes.
I've been sober, clean and sober for 9 years. I'm also the board chair president of the Lived Experience Advisory Board under Sarah, which is South Alamo Regional Alliance of the Homeless. And I met Thomas in 2017, and I just want to say his transformation is we're in recovery. We're a program of action, not promotion. And he's wholeheartedly stepped into that. I've sat in with him, not just from I used to case manage him, but it grew into something more where we needed him and where the areas we needed him in is his story and testimony of the way he lives his life now. We partner really closely with SAPD. We started a cadet program with them where we actually train the cadets before they hit the streets to understand what it is to serve the homeless, because many of the calls will be on the homeless. He's the first person we pulled in and testify and share his story with them, and he does those with us. He shows up every day to our campus to serve. I've sat in with AA meetings with him when he gets his sobriety chips and see the light that goes off when that happens. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But I personally, as a person with lived experience and a person who runs a campus that helps a lot of people, we need that light to show others that recovery is possible and that a second chance of life is possible. And Tomas is a living and breathing example of that. So
Right.
That's really all I have.
Thank you so much. And thank you all so much for coming. So here's the number one question. He's probably not going to be released from the Bexar County Jail till 1 a.m. So is there going to be somebody available to pick him up? Okay, so everybody said they'll pick you up. All right. I appreciate the fact that we're back on the record. I appreciate the fact that you actually found out you had a warrant, turn yourself in. Most people who are not in recovery, they try to dodge things instead of saying, this is a problem, this is an issue, I'm going to face it head on. So I appreciate that. And the testimony that they've given to you reminds me of when I go to drug court graduations or graduations from treatment and see the changes in people. So I really appreciate that. All right. But next time, call police. Don't confront anybody. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever consideration you can make on the agreement based on those comments, we'd appreciate, Your Honor.
All right. So this is what the court will do. Court is finding you guilty. As previously stated, the enhancement, true. Court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. 200 hours of community service restitution probation. The community work that he does, once you get information about what he's doing in the community, you can count that towards his community service hours. And are you going to be staying at Pay It Forward? All right. So I'm going to put out here you to reside at Pay It Forward. Once they do their transitioning, which I know they do, just keep in contact with probation.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs and probation. Some of the programs that he's involved in, they do the UAs. So if you all want to coordinate with them on that, you can. And it's the same thing with field visits. I'm going to order field visits 4 times over the span of his length of probation. There's to be no contact. I don't know how he does the no contact if these persons are homeless.
One person is incarcerated, Your Honor, and the other is also on probation. But you're right, we'll waive that if that makes it easier.
All right, so we'll waive the no contact, but you know who the parties are. Hopefully, do not have any contact with them. If you see anything suspicious, then you'll just need to call the police. You understand? And he's to continue with his current treatment plan. And that includes the sober support meetings that he does.
The AA meeting?
Yes. They call them sober support meetings here, but they're the same thing.
Yes.
All right, and there's to be proof of employment within 60 days of release. There's to be,
Judge, he's on SSI and primarily volunteering his
Yeah.
time.
all right, so you'll need to provide then proof of employment or either SSI within 60 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm going to return this to you so that he can have it. And great work. I'm glad that you have changed your life.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, I will. Oh, okay, I will. And you all, thank you. Could I have everybody come up, please? The people who came to support him. Oh, he wants to know who he can call for a ride.
We have just run down the list. Run down the list. If one doesn't answer, call the next. Oh, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. I want to thank you all for coming down to support him, because sometimes when bad things happen to you and you are saying in your mind, I'm on the straight path, how could this happen? Things tend to go downhill because you're thinking nobody's going to believe I've ever changed. So I want to thank you all so much for supporting him and for the work that you do in the community, because without you all, community is not going to get better. I am one of those judges that I believe if the community can be protected and people still get their treatment and change their lives around, I'm all for it 100%. And I know the state and defense counsel will tell you that as well. So thank you all for what you do in the community. And if ever you want to bring somebody down here to see what happens in the court, you're always welcome, because sometimes people go to prison because that's what happened. And it happens sometimes. I don't take any joy in sending people to prison, though. But I know I've met some of you to different events I've gone through in this San Antonio heat. People don't realize that you guys are out there and it's 100 degrees and there's no fan and it's hot. I go out there and I'm from the South. I tell people I am not glistening anymore. I'm sweating. It's just you're drenched. So I really appreciate that. And if you all ever need anything or there's some issues or some programs you want to let me know about, please feel free to come in and talk to me about that and drop off whatever documents you have, because I will take use of programs that are available for people. We're always looking for different things for mothers with children, for young people, because we get a lot of those in here. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Hey, stay hydrated. And this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 5148, State of Texas versus James Ray Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Good afternoon for defense.
Are you James Ray Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented
Yes, Your Honor.
with the enhancement allegation?
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. We're waiving the repeater enhancement and proceeding only on the indictment.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 5149. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense? Is
Yes,
that the
Judge.
plea? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also there's an anger management course. State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be the DDRF, 80 hours community service restitution, NIC evaluation, no contact with Joe Ray Hernandez and Rosalinda Hernandez. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer States Exhibit 1 and its appendix.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
State, have you talked to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor. The state has spoken with the complainant and they did ask the state to push for drug treatment for the defendant. And one other thing I want to mention about the repeater enhancement that the state waived. As far as the state can tell, that is not a case that's in his criminal history. I'm not sure how it made its way into the indictment, but the reason, a big reason it's being waived is because it's not part of his criminal history.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
All right. This is what the court will do. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
13, 7, 5, and 4.
13, 7, 5, and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they live with their mother? Who are they living
My
with?
first 3, their mother passed away. They live with my ex-mother-in-law, and then my 4th lives with her mother.
Okay. All right. Have you ever had any mental health diagnosis?
Yes, ma'am, I have. I've had about 6 in the last 4 years
And what is the diagnosis?
that I have no problems, I guess. I've been to Laurel Ridge, SA Behavioral. I actually had one for my last charge of discharge of a firearm from 2020, which was the most recent, and they dismissed that case in March of this year.
It's my understanding that's the only
Yeah.
prior charge he has, was the
All
drug.
right, so does he suffer from mental illness or not?
Not that I'm aware of. My understanding, the state wanted to have him evaluated.
All right, so what happened this day? Was that drug induced? Were you using drugs that day?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So you're telling me that his family think there's some drug issues or mental health issues?
In our communication with his mother, she does believe that there's some drug issues and that he would benefit from drug treatment.
He did attend Laurel Ridge. That was for an inpatient treatment. There was history. There has been a history of drug usage. He went through CPS as well.
Oh, and lifetime recovery outpatient, Your Honor.
Okay. And what drugs were you using at that time?
Just methamphetamine.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. It's a $500 fine to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication, taking consideration 2023 CR 5149, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Joe Ray Hernandez or Rosalinda Hernandez. Anger management. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be a TAP evaluation, MIC evaluation, DDRF evaluation, and that's to take place in custody and follow all recommendations. And there is to be proof of employment. Are you receiving any type of SSI?
No, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline until further notice. And field visits one time per month for 4 months and then as needed. If he gets a case manager early on, then probation, you can stop with the field visits. Probation, is there anything else just 1 second. We're going to do 80 hours of community service restitution and parenting classes. Once he completes those, the community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, in this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel that the probation officer is not addressing that, you can always come to court. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Judge.
You have a good day.
Chris Lynn? Trial court cause number 2022 CR 4138. And it's listed in the the Court of Appeals 13th District as cause number 1323-00203 CR. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Nathan Morgan, the state.
defense?
Julie Pollock for Eddie Marin Maroon.
All right, the court is in receipt of documents from the Court of Appeals. I realize from speaking with the court reporter that Judge Angelini is the judge who tried this, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I'm reading from the Court of Appeals, the order of abatement. What is the issue?
The issue is there was a jury note sent, a written jury note sent from the jury there was a written response by Judge Angelini to that note. That has not been included in the clerk's record, even though I did request it. And I have spoken to the court reporter, to the clerks, to the bailiffs, no one, and I did even speak to Judge Angelini. No one can find the actual written note. But now he did read it in the record. So I just don't want to be penalized, or my client be penalized for not having the actual note in the clerk's record. But the state has agreed that what was read in the reporter's record is the actual rendition of what happened.
All right.
So
Is that correct, State?
Yes, I'll agree to that, Your Honor.
All right. So the court has written stipulations from the parties. And I see, Mr. Moray, well, you have signed it. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right. And both are asking that the court approve this stipulation?
yes, Your Honor.
yes, Your Honor,
All right.
and have it included in the supplemental clerk's record.
All right. Then the court has signed the document. Is there anything else from either side?
I did have a proposed order that I did send to.
Have you reviewed the proposed order?
Oh, yes.
The court has signed the written stipulations of the parties. And the written stipulations is to include the court reporter's rendition of the actual question that was sent out by the jury and the judge's answer, correct?
Yes. I don't have any objection to this.
All right. So then the court will review your trial court's findings and recommendations and orders in response to the order of abatement. And I will get that to you before 9:30. I just need to read over it.
And I believe the 30 days runs on Sunday
Oh, no, this will be done by 9:30.
as far as getting the supplemental record.
Oh, no, let me just tell you, in the 187 District Court, we abide by all time. We are usually ahead of time.
I understand that.
Mhm.
I didn't mean to imply otherwise.
No. I just wanted to alleviate any concerns that you may have that this won't be done by 9:30.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Speaking of deadlines, I need to go get a flu shot. Abby.
Yes, you may be excused, and tell them I will be there too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.